Phones are destroying our children, period. They're destroying our children's mental health, long term and in the short term. For a while, there was some question about that fact, but not now, not as of late 2023. It is now thoroughly documented by many studies that phones are causing anxiety, depression, self-harming, anger, and much more in kids. But it seems that almost nobody is paying attention to this. It's crazy to look at that parents just don't seem to care. Parents are afraid of addressing this subject, and the experts are recommending astonishingly ineffective and even foolish solutions, like the schools should do something about this, or parents should limit time spent on phones, or kids should just become more self-aware. This is like stand-up comedy, these solutions. All this has already been tried for years, and it goes nowhere, these recommendations. Similar solutions, like schools controlling, governments regulating, and just say no on the part of kids, have been tried with cigarettes, drugs, and marijuana, with little to no effect. In fact, sometimes negative effect. I just read a letter in a major newspaper where one mother speaks in a way that does represent a great number of parents. So let's talk about this mom and her thoughts. She does seem to recognize the danger of phones. Kudos to her. And she focuses on one solution discussed in congressional hearings, which is that parents be required to approve of any app downloaded on a child's phone. Okay, maybe, could sound good, but, says the mother, quote, any parent with a teenager will tell you that this just will not work. I already pay for a parental control app, but my children consistently find ways around the limits I set. They also continue to access TikTok, even though it's blocked, and moms know that I'm not alone. This is still that mother talking. Our kids are smarter than the parents and the parental controls. I still have limited control over what they see and no control over whom they interact with online, end quote. So what did this mother just say? She says, 1, I use parental controls and I tell the kids to limit their phone use, like many parents do. But, number 2, my kids don't listen. They work around the controls. 3, and I am completely incompetent as a mother because no matter what I do, they're still using apps proven to be dangerous for them. I am clueless how to help my own children. Now, I'm not implying any criticism of mom here. She is just clueless. It's just a condition of not knowing what to do. Ironically, mom kind of recognizes that she is incompetent, that she's in over her head. That's all I mean by that. She says that the only way to really limit time and the use of apps on phones is to take the phones away. That's a truly great solution. But then she completely wimps out and actually says that taking the phones away is not her job. This is in a major publication. She's a bright person. She says it's the responsibility of society. After all, she says, society imposes age restrictions on driving a car and buying alcohol, so why doesn't society solve the phone problem by imposing age restrictions? Whew, problem solved. No. Again, for decades, society has tried to limit the use of, say, alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana by kids, but that never works. Children are creative, and they always find a way around imposed societal limitations. But we keep hoping that society, which just means anybody but us, the parents, will save our kids. We think and say, let's make society, which means the government and schools and whoever, responsible for our children. You know, anybody but us, the parents of these kids. Nobody is insisting that parents take care of their own children. And that is where the responsibility lies. Any solution other than parents is both insane, unworkable, and cowardly on the part of us, the parents. This mother protests that she couldn't possibly take her child's phone. In her words, "I don't have a choice. I'm powerless," she says, end quote. She really doesn't know what to do. I'm defending her. She doesn't know. She says that the school requires a smartphone app, for example, for the child to even open the doors to the building when the child goes to school. If she were to remove her children's phones, you can almost hear her whining. She says, quote, "It would be the equivalent of driving my kids to school in a horse and buggy," end quote. You can't make up this kind of foolishness. She concludes by pleading that laws should be passed to forbid everyone under 18 from owning a phone. It's the job of the legislature. So that phone-free teens would become the norm. Then, no child without a phone would be made to feel isolated from the herd. Well, all I could do was roll my eyes all the way to the back of my head. And all this is not to blame this mother or any parents. Parents really don't know what to do. They're not pretending. So now what? The first step is to identify that we parents are the real problem. We parents are afraid of the disapproval of our own children. We are cowards. We'd rather let our children drink poison every day than risk the frowns or protests or tantrums that would follow the obvious solution, which is for us to simply take the poison out of their hands. Imagine that. It's nobody else's job, not the government, not the makers of the apps, not the schools, not even the child. This is a parental problem with a parental solution that can be learned. That's the cool thing. There's hope. If parents were not afraid of their kids, they would simply remove the poison phones. And somebody has to begin the process. Somebody has to be the pioneer in changing parenting. Somebody has to be the first in your neighborhood or school. Let's address just one objection stated by this mother who says that a phone app is required to gain entrance to the school. She says she's helpless. But let's suppose that only one child at a school had no phone because her parents, the parents of that child, were caring and brave enough to remove it. Suppose there's just one who had brave parents. Is anybody simple-minded enough to believe that the school would then forbid that child from entering the school to receive their education? No. In fact, it's against the law. The solution to the danger of phones is as simple as parents having the courage to do the right thing and weathering the horrifying disapproval of their own kids, not to mention other kids and other kids' parents. But allow me to vigorously defend all parents. Even as I say we're cowards, I defend us all. Parents don't have the confidence and skills required to help their children. They just don't have the skills. They just don't know how to love and teach their kids. Yes, parents are responsible for their children, but they can't be blamed for failing if they simply don't know where to find the confidence and skills they need. Fortunately, help is readily available. Parents can learn how to become filled with the love and confidence that are required to love and teach their children. Go to realloveparents.com and learn how you can begin your practical education in how to effectively parent your children.